Please proceed.
All right. Our lives are a sum total of all the decisions that we have made. That's a quote by the late Dr. Miles Monroe. Yes, note that he said all the decisions that you have made. Your bank balance is a reflection of the decisions that you've made financially. Your lifestyle, it's a reflection of your life decisions. Even in your relationships, where your relationship stands is a reflection of the decisions that you've made in your relationship. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are certain things in life that are totally out of our control. For example, losing a loved one, an accident, an economic depression, a pandemic. Yes, those things might mess your life up. In fact, some of these things might become so hard to bear that your life might feel like a ceramic plate that just fell down to the ground and all the pieces went all over the place. Imagine picking up all the pieces and trying to restart your life. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate our 39th anniversary as executive. I'm going to share 3 things. 2 of these things are things that we do that hinder us from becoming the type of people that we're supposed to be, or should I say, from picking up the pieces. And the third thing is a system, a concept that I believe that we should all adopt so that we can actually become executive. The Japanese have a culture, a thing that they call Kenzugi. Kenzugi is a process whereby they take broken pottery pieces and then they glue them all together using gold. Imagine gold. Imagine a time when you're a young lady or young man and you're walking around with your mom's favorite mug and then you just drop it. I think you would have wanted to know what Kenzugi is then. Imagine the emotions that would come out from your mom and how you would feel. Sometimes life can be like that. When you think everything is flowing and everything is going in the direction that you want it to go, and then it just falls to the ground and you have to start from square one, or should I say, piece number 1. Now the 3 points that I was talking about. If you are in a situation where your life has been broken down, where your pieces are all over the place, my question to you is, why are you still there? Why haven't you picked yourself up and started moving forward? The 2 reasons that I believe most people do this is number 1, neglect. Most of us neglect the chance for us to make a huge comeback. Yes, I remember the one time when I was playing rugby in high school. I had a perfect opportunity to score a try, but the ball came into my hands and it slipped out of my hands. The ball fell onto the ground. My mistake was I just looked at the ball and I never ran to get the ball to make a run for the try line. That's an example of neglect. Even when your life has fallen and broken down into pieces, you should find a way to pick yourself up and head straight for your goal. Do not neglect the opportunities. Do not neglect your life purpose. Do not neglect your gift. Neglect by definition is when you pay particularly no attention or very little attention to something. What is that one thing that you're not paying attention to? Moving on to number 2, lack of self-confidence. When you don't have self-confidence, you always disqualify yourself. Growing up, I never thought I could be a leader. Growing up, I never thought I could mount to anything. But then because I gained self-confidence, I started believing that. Which then brings us to our 3rd point. Remember, the 3rd point is a concept that I believe can work for each and every one of us. What's this concept that I believe that we should all adopt? This concept is a system of positive belief systems. Yes, a belief system is a collection of principles that you live by. Yes, note principles. Principles that you live by. I wrote more about this in my book. My book is called Becoming 19, not because I was turning 19 years old, but then in that book I've pegged it up with principles that I believe even someone who's 19 or 91 years of age can use. My belief is that principles never age. My father once told me that after every emotion, there is nothing. After every principle, there is a promise. So do not neglect that promise. Go and make a collection of principles that can propel you into the next stage of your life. How does this all add up to being executive? I asked my mentor this afternoon what executive club means to her. She told me, well, it's a solid club. It has stood the test of time. And it's just executive. And then I started thinking, if she feels that we're just executive, then it is in what we say, do, and bring out that shows that we're executive. We believe that we're executive because we take it seriously. We have set principles, guidelines, and ways to do things to show that we are executive. We always say that we're executive. Whenever someone says, I have achieved something, we all say, well done. Keep going the executive way. We have likened executive to success. Hence, this is a very successful club. And today, as we celebrate our 39th anniversary, I believe that we should all take up this concept, adopt it, make it part of us. And we should all say that we are executive. I believe that I'm executive. I will speak like an executive and I will walk like an executive. I wonder what my walk will look like, but today, let us all be executive. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.